Welcome to another video in the JavaScript tutorial series, and in this video we'll be looking at 3 more methods which I find interesting. That is the set timeout, set interval, and this date method. Alright, so let's just go with these one by one. Go for these one by one. Set timeout. I'll just be writing it out once. So let's call okay, so set timeout actually accepts 2 parameters. That's the first one being the function that decides the timeout. Let me just name this as timeout function, and the second parameter is the milliseconds after which you want the code to execute. So what set timeout does is it basically adds scheduling time for that particular code to run. So if I enter 5000 milliseconds, that is around 5 seconds, then this particular function will execute, the timeout function will execute after 5 seconds. So yeah, so what I mean by this is, let me just make a function timeout function, and let me just console.log hello. Alright, so this hello will be printed after 5 seconds. That's what it all means. There's a schedule that is being given here, and the schedule time is 5 seconds, and the function that is in question is timeout function, and this is what it does. Simply just logs hello into the console, and that's all it does. So let's just run this and see what we get. 3 4 5 and here, yeah, so you get hello printed here. So that's pretty much it for this particular timeout function. Nothing much to it. You also have something called as clear timeout, and that will be given like let const timeout var equals. So what I'm doing is I'm setting a variable to this set timeout so that I can reference it later, and clear timeout is for what I'll be referencing it for. So if I just mention timeout var here, what I'll be getting is what I can do with this piece of code is I can actually set this to not run this function. So if I just somehow trigger this particular piece of code before the 5 seconds, it will not run. So it's pretty hard to do that in this particular environment, that is within the DevTools snippets. But one thing you can do is you can set up a button for this in HTML and run this as a script in Java, in your as a normal HTML web page, and the whole thing will be a script, and there'll be one event listener for this. Upon clicking that button, the timeout will be cleared. So what it basically does is this particular piece of code will actually stop this from running, provided it is done before 5 seconds. In case it's not specified, in case it's beyond 5 seconds, then this timeout function will run, and this will be of no use. So that's what it simply does. You can understand this more when you go deep into HTML and how websites and how JavaScript integrates with the websites, and you'll be needing this. But for now, you just need to understand that clear timeout exists so that we can prevent this function from running before 5 seconds. And this can be anything. It can be 3 seconds, it can be 3 milliseconds, right? It can be 30 milliseconds, whatever. Alright, so I wouldn't recommend keeping it very low as 3 milliseconds, or even anything that's 100 milliseconds, because it's not really practical to be using all that. And yeah, so let's just keep it to seconds. That's 5000 seconds, and yeah, that's pretty much it for set timeout. Now set interval is another such interesting method, and how it works is interval. Let me just define it first. Var equals set interval, Set interval, like its counterpart, the set timeout, actually accepts two parameters as well, the same thing, that is the function and the milliseconds. All right, so again I'm just giving 5000 milliseconds. I mean, so yeah, that's equal to 5 seconds. And the difference between set timeout and set interval is timeout actually executes a particular piece of function after a set number of seconds. All right, what set interval does is, like the name says, it executes this function periodically. So every 5 seconds it tries to run this piece of code. Pretty interesting, right? So let's just see this in action and see what we get. So let me just define this function for us, and what we'll do is we will prompt the user. Let var1, let me just name this as var1 equals prompt, enter 1 to stop. I'm sorry, enter 1 to stop, and if var1 equals 1, let's just clear this timeout, shall we? I'm sorry, interval. Interval variable. All right, so else we will print hello world. All right, so okay, just give me some error. All right, so now this makes it all good. So what this, let me just I've typed quite some lines of code here, but let me just explain what is happening. Like I said earlier, this particular line of code will actually have the set interval, as it accepts two parameters, like I said earlier, and we have a variable that is attached to this particular set interval method. Now what this particular function does is, we are actually assigning a variable to we're actually prompting the user to enter something. All right, so it can be anything. All right, and what we are doing is, if this particular piece of input which you're receiving is 1, then we are clearing the interval. All right, so we're just resetting the interval and we're just stopping this interval from happening. So every 5 seconds this particular function runs, and we need some kind of a limiter for that. We need some kind of a stopper for that. So this is what acts as a stopper. If we just type 1, then this whole interval will be stopped. Otherwise we keep on doing hello world. We'll keep on printing hello world every 5 seconds. So that's all it basically does. Let's see this in action to get more clarity. Let me just clear the console real quick and see what we get. So let's just wait for 5 seconds and see what we get. Yeah, we get something here. Let's just type 4 hello world. All right, so let's just type 5 hello world 2 times. Let's just type 9 hello world 3 times. As you can see, let's just type some gibberish. All right, so hello world 4 times, and let's just finally enter 1. Let's see what we get. As you can see, 4 times is the last time we get hello world. We don't get any more prompts, which means that this interval has been cleared. So this kind of interval set timeout and set interval really comes in handy when you're trying to manipulate the logic with respect to time, especially if you're into web development, especially in when you're calling APIs. When you wish to call an API after a certain period has passed, or if you want to do it periodically, then you can have set timeout and set interval. Again, we're not going into all that. We're just keeping it very simple here with JavaScript. But yeah, you can actually make your own logic with this and be creative. You feel free to explore And yeah, settimeout and setinterval are two interesting methods that are available for JavaScript in our arsenal. So the last one we'll be seeing is something called as date. All right, so let's just name this const d is equals to new date. All right, so and now date has actually yeah, this is just a particular piece of code which we are referencing the particular class of date, and we're just trying to store it in the variable. And yeah, so if we just try to console.log d.get hours, let's see what we get. Sorry. Yeah, okay, this should be yeah, now it should work. 23. So now currently my time is 11 I guess. Yeah, it's 23 I guess. Yeah, I'm close to midnight right now. Sorry for the late recording, but yeah, I'm just at 23rd hour of the day today. So let me just type get day. Let's see what we get. 0. Right, so get day actually refers to the day of the week. All right, so today is 0. Today is Sunday. Sunday starts at 0 all the way up to Saturday, which goes to 6. All right, so if I'm on a Monday, it'll be a 1. Tuesday will be a 2, so on. So we're just getting live information here. All right, so we're just getting our own information here. Get minutes. All right, let's try minutes, see what we get. So 56. So yeah, like I said, I'm pretty close to the midnight, pretty close to Monday. If I just try this, try get day in 4 minutes, then it'll be 1. So yeah, there are a bunch of handy methods like for date. You can discover them in the documentation websites like W3 Schools and other Mozilla Firefox, I'm saying Mozilla Docs, which actually contains a lot of information about JavaScript, more than what W3 Schools provides. Actually, W3 Schools actually provides information in a very concise manner, and Mozilla goes a little more deep into the theory and stuff, concepts. So both are really great sources. Just check it out. That's pretty much it for this video. You can just discover more of date methods. Try tweaking set timeout and set interval methods on your own. Be creative there, and that's all there is to this video. Thank you.